keep it alive. Through these lines I write, I keep it live cause I thrive. I might just blow your mind tonight. I'm so hyped, but it's no hype. From this height, it's direct hits on sight. I'm your type, lend me your ears to show you that there's something in me. I'm not giving up, I'm standing right here, holding these days hostage. And I'll make this my year. We turning fear into love, and the love's in the air. I love doing this cause nothing compares. Nothing can share that same type of feeling when you feeling them flares. They can't catch it, it's havoc. I rip to a tear, switch the scenario. My stereos, I leave them impaired. Variables start to change and they're all in my range. I just gotta grab it, it's all mathematics. Every step is drastic, I make it fantastic. I'm trying to take your breath away. Asthmatic.
This is live through the stereo. Go and let it blow, blow through the stereo. I'ma let them know through the stereo. Yo, here we go through the stereo, stereo. This is live through the stereo. Go and let it blow, blow through the stereo. I'ma let them know through the stereo. Yo, here we go through the stereo, stereo.
Yeah, just nod your head with it, so explicit and vivid. Every image is intricate, intimate. I put my all into it, no scrimmage and no rules. I'm a pro tool, hear my heartbeat, beat into the vocals. I'm so loco, lost my mind, oh no. It's ponderoso, dope, so no overdose, cause it's dope, yo. Man, this is house grown, mixed with some milestones. So I let the style flow down like the Dow Jones, bringing it with some foul tones, letting the crowd know we getting loud, so it's eardrum rudiments. Yeah, we bring it rude again. Move, little hooligan. Music for tuning in, full time to the 10. I'm on my clock like I told you.
In the words of Antoine Dodson, hide your kids, hide your wife. The CIA is coming to rape you. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Anti-Media Radio. This is your host, SM Gibson, and my co-host,
Dedric Young.
We're here to cover all the news going on tonight. We've got all the protests going down, everything that went down in Berkeley yesterday. We are talking about the CIA report. We are covering all the latest independent media that the rest of the world refuses to touch. Okay, let's start out talking about the CIA report. Okay, they are literally raping people.
Yes, families and everything like that, right?
Okay. They killed a guy,
yes.
And here's the thing about this. The rest of the country had their heads in the sand. It's just like Edward Snowden, right? So, before Edward Snowden, they're not doing this. This isn't happening. They're not doing this.
Yeah.
They're not spying on us. How dare they? They're not going to do that. And the report comes out, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, yep, that's been happening.
Yes, it has.
So there's nothing in this CIA report that came out today that we did not know. Okay, John Kuroko, he said it 2 years ago as a whistleblower and is sitting in prison now, the only person that has been indicted and is in jail for any of the crimes that have been committed.
Yeah, I heard all the stuff that came out today, man, and listening to him just talk about it was kind of like, kind of bias on it, you know, like in a way. But at the same time, you know, leaving people, not feeding them for a week, you know, making them wear diapers. Also, and also like telling them that, hey, we sleeping with your kids, your family members, or whatever such. I don't know. I just didn't understand. It was kind of like dramatic and extreme to me.
But here's the problem. Like, it is that extreme, you know, because we've got this dungeon being run by the CIA called Cobalt, right? It was being run by a rookie, and then there, you know, it's interrogation by the CIA's on admission. They're not getting any information out of these people, okay? And then, but it turns around, you got Mitch McConnell saying, but how dare you? How dare you release this information? It's like, okay, here's the thing that blows my mind, right? It's like they're saying, how dare you release this info? How dare you release this info, right?
Well, you got to say this now. You got to think about what happened when the CIA had to like talk about this in front of Congress. They said none of this even happened.
Multiple people said this didn't happen over and over and over. George W. Bush said, we're walked around naked. They were shackled with their hands above their head for an extended period of time.
Well, why is it coming out now?
Because it's political. Are you serious?
I was asking a question.
It's political. Everything that happens is political. And you know what? Even the reports by their own admission, you know, they're drowning people They're waterboarding somebody 128 times.
So do you think that with all this new news that came out today that Americans need to be afraid or on high alert of like more like terror attacks on our homeland?
No. Okay, so this is what they want you to think, right? You need to understand that there was nobody that knew anything. Like anybody that had a brain in their head, if they didn't know this was happening yesterday, then they're an idiot. If you just found out today and you're just so shocked, wake up! Because this has been happening.
It's been happening.
But listen, it's like I was saying earlier, it's like Snowden. We knew before the information was released this was happening. It just takes some clarification from CNN for you to acknowledge that it's going on. Look, the government's been lying to you from day one about everything.
Yes, and placing fusion centers all over the country.
All over everywhere.
Yeah, and not just the Stingray vehicles coming up with, at the protests and redirecting everyone's phone calls to all the police departments in New York, like God, and also in Boston.
Everywhere.
They're flying drones over and like just.
Oh, don't even get me.
But that'll never happen here in America.
Oh, no. Not in America, ladies and gentlemen. Not in America, because we live in a free country. You're free because you have a constitution that's been shredded, and you have had multiple presidents wipe their ass with it.
Yes, and guys, we got a lot of news here today and a lot of things going on. We've seen all the protests that's still taking place in our country, and we also seen the heartbreaking scenes in Berkeley that's going on with the protesters with, the aggressive cops, the militarization of these police departments, and, innocent people being harmed and just beat down. And it's like, it's all going bad in some. I just don't know what to think about it.
Do you catch the irony of all of it, though? Here's the irony, right? Here's the irony of that. We have a report coming out, right? And that says, we've been doing all this really foul stuff. But, we're not really...
But is the foul stuff necessary?
No. But what I'm saying is, it's like, there's these reports of all this horrible stuff going on. Everybody's like, I can't believe our government would do that. Meanwhile, our government will get on videotape, like what's been happening in Berkeley. Forget Berkeley. Let's talk about the reason why people are in the streets. Okay, let's talk about that. We got Eric Garner getting filmed in the streets, getting killed with no indictment. Let's talk about that. There's a reason people are in the streets. There's a reason they're standing face to face with the police.
And just by that, being talked about, I think that is a larger problem that lies in America. And it's just like, we can talk about the Eric Gardner, we can talk about the Brown, the Ferguson, we can talk about the Rice, but once we tackle these problems on poverty and education and classes, we will not, move forward on anything.
Well, we're not going to move forward on any of this because people still today, like the United States has proven how much their head is in the sand today because this information is released. It was literally said 2 years ago by the only person sitting in jail right now over this was the whistleblower. The only person. 2 years ago, the man said it. We knew all this. This is not new information. And yet the whole world, because Anderson Cooper had it come out of his mouth. It's insane. It's insane. It's insane.
And yes, we're going to take a few calls later on in this show, guys. And we highly appreciate it, but it's just a lot going on. And we want to share this information and get a lot of things and get you guys input on, the awakening. I call it the awakening of the American people. We need to just, really start speaking more about this and not hiding it, and saying, hey, is it right or wrong? Which side are you on? You're going to have to make a choice sooner or later.
The choice is now. The choice is here. You listen to Anti-Media Radio with your host, S.M. Gibson, and my co-host,
Dedric Young.
You can call us at 718-717-8296, 718-717-8296. We want to hear your opinions. We want to hear what you have to think about the CIA. We want to hear what you have to think about Berkeley. We want to have what you have to hear about any of this.
And we also want to hear what you guys got to think of, what you guys have to say about these cop killers.
Woo!
And And I know you got a long list of topics that we can talk about on these cop codes.
Oh, absolutely. But okay. Did you know that less than 2% of cops that have killed in New York City have been indicted?
Sorry,
less
guys.
than
I said cop killers, not killer cops. My bad.
Oh, sorry, because I'm over here trying to focus on what the government's doing to the people.
Yeah, and not us, retaliating against the cops, because we have to remain peaceful.
Yeah, okay. What is the percentage on cop killers? Ice-T talked about that about 14 years ago, and how many cop killers are there? You got Eric, or you got...
Well, it's less than 2%.
No. We saying 2%. Who's out there killing cops in mass? I don't advocate that. I advocate peace, peace, peace. Everybody should be peaceful.
Yes.
Don't kill anyone.
Don't kill anyone. But we just we just holding this conversation because it's up to date, and we send all this anger and frustration and all this power hunger from these guys and taking advantage of us just that want to have a voice.
Well, that's all this is about. The whole thing is a battle of ego. And you've got one side with a uniform on, and for whatever reason, they grew up with some sort of deficiency in their soul that makes them think that if they take a baton and hit somebody upside the head with that baton, that makes them a greater person. And then we have this line of people that are getting beat with that baton that are believing and saying in something. Now, whether you agree with that something is irrelevant. But you know what? They're taking a stand. That's what America was founded on. What's funny is you watch Fox News, and they sit there, the same Fox News that tells you 1776 was the greatest thing that ever happened. Oh, my gosh, we had a rebellion. Let's rebel against the system. Well, guess what? People are rebelling against the system today. And the same people that praise somebody from 200 years ago will tell you that, oh, no, you can't do that. That's against the law.
Yeah, but
don't forget everything Hitler did was not against the law. Don't forget Jim Crow was not against the law.
Well, now, we can talk about American terrorism all day.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Because, listen, everybody thinks because it's not against the law or it is against the law, that's how we judge our moral compass here. Okay, that's the world we live in. People judge everything based upon the government. And
or the perception of everything. Yeah.
Right. Now, I don't understand how people are taking the concept of government, right, and attributing to a deity, which is what they've done. Star-spangled deities aren't what they used to be.
Well, hey.
But I still believe that I can be whatever I want to be.
Well, we all can.
Well, can we?
Yeah.
Because they literally, they're shoving hoses up people's behinds.
Yeah, you're right. That did come out today, guys. The CIA report did announce a lot of things that was going on in our, with our torture strategies or whatever. Whatever
enhanced interrogation.
Yeah, enhanced. Torture. Right? Did I not see that today?
No. We never tortured anybody. We used enhanced interrogation. I understand.
Terror warning in wake of what? Torture report.
Well, that's called fear. Okay, all you're watching, I know that everybody listening cannot see what we're looking at right now. We have the unfortunate scene of CNN in front of us, and it says, breaking news, terror warning in wake of torture report, and the CIA's own Anderson Cooper is hosting his television show. But, Mr. Vanderbilt right here, Gloria Vanderbilt's son, Anderson Cooper, is hosting this show, and basically what they're doing is instilling fear in the population. That's all this is about. That's what they're doing. So, I'll tell you, to me, the big, like, crazy tip-off. Do you realize that John McCain, when Edward Snowden was sitting in a hotel room in Hong Kong, let's bomb it. Let's just invade the whole country. Let's just go. Let's get rid of it.
What you expect?
But listen, even John McCain today said, and let me read everybody his quote. Speaking of the CIA, they must know when the values that define our nation are internationally disregarded by our security policy. Even those policies that are conducted in secret, they must be able to make informed judgments about whether those policies and the personnel who supported them were justified in compromising our values, whether they served a greater good or whether, as I believe, in John McCain's words, they stained our national honor and did much harm and little practical good. This is a man that is a warmonger. I get that he is the only person in Congress that has experienced torture in his life in Vietnam.
Yes.
Everybody's seen the pictures of him getting off the plane. But to say, to stain our national honor, much harm, and it did a little practical good. This is a guy that is a warmonger, and even he is saying, this is not right. If John McCain's saying it's too crazy, it's beyond too crazy.
He had both his arms broke.
John McCain's been through some things.
Yeah, so where we go from here, guys? Like, that's the inputs I want to hear. You know, I want to hear where we take this from here. Like, what's the next step? And all these things that's going on, like, you know, we have a caller calling in. We're going to take this caller at 205-492.
Welcome to Anti-Media Radio. This is your host, SM Gibson. How you doing?
Hey, SM. This is Brandon calling from Birmingham.
Brandon, how you doing?
Pretty good. Let me turn down my sound in the background. But pleasure being on the show again, and once again, you all doing a tremendous job with the show.
Thank you,
appreciate
sir.
you calling in, Brandon.
I was just listening, and I know we were talking about a few things on the show today, or you all were, and basically, it sounds like to me we're talking about justice and suffering of people.
That's it.
And I don't have much to say today, but I did get this article off the site, and I would implore all of our viewers to look up this young lady's name. I think her name is Adler Shepard, and she is from the Seattle area. She was viciously attacked.
Yes.
By an officer.
That's what you're talking about.
Is that her with her? I think she had a
black eye. Oh yeah, yes. She got messed up.
Fracture.
Yes. Yeah, she did, and and this is the thing we were talking about a week ago. Is it's the suffering, and the videotape showed this officer viciously as he punched her in the face, abused her, and basically attacked her. And this lady, she broke an orbital bone in her face, and it's the same injury that our dear brother, the officer.
Darren Williams.
Darren Williams. That's the same injury he said he suffered. And just ironic that, this lady said she...
Very ironic, because it wasn't quite the same thing at all.
Exactly, yeah. And this is basically what love sounds like. But the suffering of this lady, she was punched by this officer in the face. And the state patrol, I just got this information a minute ago from the Washington area, said that, this kind of policy wasn't taught in the police department. This kind of what's the word I'm looking for? This kind of
behavior,
training and behavior.
Right.
Exactly. What was not taught in the police department and so forth, and this that, and other. And this guy punched this lady in the face, and I want to implore all our viewers to look at this story, and we got to give this lady, let her know that she's in our prayers, she's in our heart, and this kind of violence won't be tolerated. Where I'm calling from all the way from Birmingham, Alabama. She up in Washington, she out of Washington, and this kind of violence won't be tolerated. It's the same kind of violence we're speaking against. And the callers need, all of our callers, all of our viewers and listeners need to understand that these things are taught. The police officers, state patrolmen, they use our tax dollars to protect and serve us, and we too hope that Lady Justice is blind. Lady Justice has no, she doesn't have she can't see. She couldn't feel. She couldn't feel my nappy hair. She couldn't feel. The next person cornrows, she too needs to be blind. Now, this kind of violence won't be tolerated.
I agree with you. Now, I tell you what I've learned, what I think everything, especially today with the revelations of the CIA documents and the torture. I do believe that justice has become blind in America. But what I have seen is that the teflosis, or the blindness as you would call it, hinges more upon if you have an official title. And it doesn't necessarily deal with even community, because there could be a police officer from your community, but as long as he has a title, then he's allowed to beat your skull in. Now, do you agree or disagree with that?
No, I agree with the privilege the officers are getting because
it's not even just the officer. It's the umbrella of government. It's the umbrella of money, because with the officers, it goes back to the police union, and that's something people are not talking about. It's the police unions behind all of this that are keeping these stories from getting blown up, and they're keeping these officers from becoming indicted.
Right, exactly. There's no question. And I take my cue here from a guy I hold near and dear to me, and I have to quote him. I normally try to reference people when I quote them. This is not a white or black thing at all. Not at all.
No,
we don't want to get this. We don't want to get this misunderstood at all. But there are about
the people in Guantanamo were not white nor black.
Exactly.
They were from the Middle East, and they will beat them just like they'll beat anybody.
Right, and when people hear other people, we can't turn a blind eye. We can't be indifferent to the suffering of other people. And say, oh well, well, there's some people over there. We the monolithic, narcissistic type. We don't really identify with those people. That's not us. We can't have that kind of personality and that kind of attitude towards the suffering of other people. But I take my cue here. I was just starting a minute ago. I take my cue from Dr. West, Dr. Cornell West. I have to reference.
One of the few people today who I actually have some respect for.
Yeah, exactly. And I have to quote him. He said a minute ago, a couple of years ago, and I heard him speak, about 2 billion German-American brothers and sisters, but we don't have a German-American brother and sister problem. There is a minority problem in this nation. It needs to be, it's always a poor people problem. It's always an indigenous poor people problem. We cannot allow these things to go unnoticed and go untouched. So
now, Brandon, did you hear Brother West talk about? I've written an op-ed that hadn't been released yet about Mr. The quote unquote Reverend Al Sharpton, and it goes into kind of some stuff Brother West talks about, but.
I haven't heard that.
He slammed Sharpton pretty good. But I tell you what, Brandon, we got another caller coming in right now. We're going to go ahead and pick this up. Thank you so much for your call, and thank you so much for your input.
Okay, look. I got some more things to say now. So stay
on the line, Brandon.
Okay.
How you doing, caller 614? What's your name?
Name's Ivan.
Who?
Ivan.
How you doing, buddy? What's on your mind today? How you feel about the things that's going on these topics that we're talking about today?
Well, I mean, I'm more of a I can see in the future type of guy, or I try to think of the future and try to think like what could all this event of cop killing add up to. And what I have came up with is, well, they're gonna kill the small people first. The cops see how get a reaction, but I do believe it's assassination on a president coming.
Absolutely, I do think you nailed it on the head.
They need something major. They need something major. They're seeing okay, regular people is not triggering too much chaos, but they get somebody big enough that people, look up to that's black. They get that one person, that one hero to everybody, and take them out. That's what's going to cause, the big civil war they're trying to do right now. I think is a civil war that's trying to get.
So do you think that, do you believe that this is a race civil war, or do you believe that this is a civil war between the haves and the have-nots?
The haves and have-not, definitely.
Absolutely. Now, here's the problem we have, though, because the have-nots, Mike Brown became a martyr for the have-nots because he came from nothing. And, Eric Garner was a martyr for the have-nots. But at the same time, we never know who that martyr is going to be because they're the have-nots. The people that have, we know their names. They're in the TV every day. They're in the media every day. It's the people that come from nothing and their names get put on a pedestal, basically, not saying that they are some sort of, deity for any of this stuff.
Yeah.
But they are martyrs. They are martyrs. And
I definitely
go ahead.
I definitely think it's more of a this population control they're trying to do, and it's just like more. I'll be thinking like, okay, now you got all these people that's part of the army, but don't they people or their family live in the United States of America too? That they trying to have people be martial law and the National Guard, like trying to think like what's really going on, what's getting put in these people's food that they under so much control. That if the National Guard come on the land of the United States and come against us, like, hold up, so are these people from Russia? Is the army from really Russia? I doubt there's that many millions of people from the United States of America that's in the army.
Did you see the protest that took place in Berkeley the other night?
No.
Take a look at that clip, man, and you would really see where this police state has gone.
Yeah, we live in a police state, and it's really hard to wrap our heads around, but this has nothing to do with a foreign country infiltrating our nation. So many people say, well, Barack Obama maybe was a communist extension and all this stuff. It's none of that. Like, that's not what it is. What it is, it's our own nation from the inside imploding. And it's also people that are running, the real people that are running the country have never been elected, have never run for office.
They're not trying to run for office.
No, and that's the scary part.
Yeah, well, that's just a seat. Like, I feel like Obama is so much that he can do.
No, I don't think there's anything he can do.
It's a million things that he can do. That's what I'm saying.
No, he can, because even Ron Paul said it best. Ron Paul said the president only has so much power. But if I become president, I have the power to move the troops around because I'm commander-in-chief. And he said if I was president, I would bring every single troop from around the country back into America. From around the world, excuse me.
Now, check this out, though. When you talk about Obama, you got to talk about, that's like me and you. That's on the phone right here. Say we all start our show. Either we're going to do what we do and go to hell as soon as we don't say what they say, or we have a choice. Like, you got to think about it. Once you go under the agenda of the Baphomet and all the rituals with the satanic stuff, it's like you have no choice. Either they're going to kill you, or you can live your life and live out here, get your heaven on earth, or you can die tonight. So it's like, okay,
There ain't no heaven on earth, though.
Exactly, but in their eyes, for all these rappers out here, that you gotta think every rapper in the industry, I don't care who it is, from Young Thug to the oldest rapper Jay-Z, they all are in the Illuminati. They promote the stuff, and they brainwash us.
Okay, so here's the thing about that. I'm so with you on that. I'm not about to tell you that none of that's not real. I will say that I do think there is a level of propaganda. They're propagandizing people,
yeah.
And
they get so much money, but you know what? The money,
right?
They're not allowed.
I could set up a website tomorrow and just put a triangle on it and put a rap song on it, and you're going to automatically think that's the Illuminati. So, you know, I'm not saying that these people aren't evil. I'm not saying these people are not being used for ulterior motives. But what I am saying is that I wouldn't put my faith in what they're doing.
But we also got to appreciate the guys that are taking part and standing up and taking a stand, like
Immortal Technique.
Some of the NBA players, the NFL players, like LeBron James the other night.
Man, they're part of it too, man.
Well,
they're part of it too.
Yeah,
you can't make it.
From what?
You can't make it nowhere without.
Yes.
I don't think.
But hey, we can agree to disagree too.
Yeah,
it's always disgusting though. LeBron James is definitely,
he's a figure. He's the idol,
and the money and all that. He's fallen into that trap. I don't know. I'm not LeBron James. I'm not about to tell you what the man believes or what he does.
But I can say for my part, I like to see young people getting involved in some of these things that's going on. Like, hey, at first when all this happened, I'm asking like, where's Spike Lee? Where's all like? I'm just saying. We had that discussion the other night because I'm trying to just see who else gonna stand up with us.
But we had all people stand up with us when it was to get somebody that nobody really knows about in the office. Obama, you had all the rappers, all the even white and black actors and actresses. They all were, sitting there and vote for Obama. I met Jay-Z, P. Diddy, and Mary J. Blige just because Obama was running for president.
Well, I'll tell you this, and you said it. And you know what? I definitely am guilty of this. I know Dedric's guilty of this. I'm guilty of this. We're all guilty of this. But we always have, and the media is what does it to us. We differentiate. We always say, well, black people or well, white people. And then we always say, well, there's this thing that happened and black people said it or white people said it. And it's like, you know what? We're all human beings, period. That's it. We're all human beings. And we have to get past this mentality of saying, well, a person that has a little bit different shade of skin than I do said something. We have to stop that. That is the biggest problem that faces us today. And what's ironic and why Obama for the establishment is the perfect president is because when he was elected, everybody said, well, finally, there's a black president. There's nobody to be calling racism anymore.
Well, I got something to say about that.
Everybody's calling racism 10 times more because at one point in the man's presidency, and it's not so much this way anymore, but if you disagreed with any of his policies, you are a racist. It's like, no, I can just disagree with the man's policies. Because you know what? I'm sitting here next to Dedric. His skin color is a different color than me. We're both human beings, and that's all that's important. You know what? I'll tell you right now, Herman Cain was an idiot.
Well, hold on. If they call us Brandon is still there, I know you know about.
Hey, it was an idiot, and Herman Cain was a joke. That's what I would describe Herman Cain. Herman Cain was a joke, but yeah. Continue. I want to talk about. I want to piggyback on black faces in high places, though. When you all get done with that.
So that's what you call it?
Yo, continue.
Oh yeah, black faces. Well. That is a beautiful thing. You got black faces in high places and high political positions and high offices, neighborhood positions. That is a beautiful thing. But those black faces in high places, they still have cousins, they still have uncles and aunties who are still locked into the prison industrial complex, indecent housing, disgraceful school systems, no unavailable child care, unavailable health care, And so these things hunt us all, sort of like wealth inequality, sort of like white supremacy or male supremacy. All these things hunt us.
I can tell you exactly what it is.
They've been wrapped around us like a serpent for the past 400 years, and it's something that we can't get around. And something that I hold near and dear to my heart is wealth inequality.
Well,
overworked, underpaid. Okay, so you had the brother on the phone. Right here. He's talking about some of the artists, some of our great artists, Jay-Z and so forth.
If Jay-Z's great artists moving to Africa with Dave Chappelle tomorrow, because I don't believe that because a man makes a bunch of money, he's necessarily great. I
agree. I agree.
Okay, let's go back to our other caller and let him rebut that situation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, what they do is, this is the thing, though. Okay, now, the government, okay, we're going to give you this money, but you better not help nobody out here in the USA. But you can go over to Africa, you can go over to, different countries and help them out and give them stuff, but you better not help nobody in the USA. That's how it goes, man.
You better not have what in the USA? Can you repeat that? Can you make it more clear for me?
They're more like the government for the rappers and stuff and people that's famous. You can help anybody else in any other country, but you better not help nobody else here in the United States of America. Jay-Z just recently tore down a whole neighborhood in Brooklyn. That was more of a move for, He got the black people all hyped to get out of there, but at the end of the day, it wasn't good for the people. And they tell you, like, okay, you get this money, but if somebody doing too much in the hood and United States of America, that's why you don't see that. You got all these rich people in America, but who they helping? Every time you see them, it's always, overseas somewhere. It's never really.
So now I think everything you're saying, I think there's a legitimacy to what you're saying, but at the same time, do you not feel that the Jay-Z's of the world, the P. Diddy's of the world, people that are very wealthy, very successful, do you not feel that they're actually just distractions to keep you looking away from what's really going on? You can sit here.
Wicked, man.
Should we be worried about what Jay-Z's doing? I get the man has a lot of money, but is he really controlling policy? Is he really the one, like we started out the conversation with, CIA is torturing people? There are cops running people over in Berkeley, beating people to death, and they have been for years. And for whatever reason, it's just now becoming to the light. Jay-Z, he's a puppet. He's a puppet. He's just like Obama. He's just like any politician. He's being used for whatever purpose he's being used for, and you can serve it for that purpose. And that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I vehemently disagree, SM. I got to be honest with you now. I got to be very honest with you now.
What you think about it, Mr. McClain?
I got to be very honest with you now. Jay-Z is the best of us. Okay? You don't
the best of us died on the day Tupac died, but we can continue.
Well, Tupac is the best of us also.
1996.
I can't say that because it's all about what what's his representation, man. If you look back at if you actually just don't belittle, you got to see the bigger picture, though. You know what I mean? We don't see what his actual move is on a day-to-day basis. But who's to say that he's not going to Bohemian Grove, California, and meet with the high powers and sacrificing kids? These guys are wicked, man.
Great.
These guys are wicked, and their agenda is way above what we know. Because you got to understand, if you want to break it down to a more spiritual realm,
and in your defense,
has a lot to do with.
I want our callers to know this. In your defense, you mentioned the Bohemian Grove, and I know probably some callers will roll their eyes and say, "Oh, well, the Bohemian Grove, that's conspiracy theory." Actually, it's not conspiracy theory, because Richard Nixon was even on tape being asked about the Bohemian Grove, having been there, and his response was, and I quote, "That's the most goddamn faggoty place on the planet." But it goes back to what the caller is saying. It's saying that, there's some very nefarious things going on, and there's...
Let me ask you guys a question.
There's pictures of Colin Powell there. There's pictures of Colin Powell at this place. There's policies being made there. So, back to the caller.
Yeah. Did you actually hear about you recording yourself saying "Yes, we can," and you play it backwards to say "Thank you, Satan"?
You know, I've heard those things, but I don't think they're actually. I get it, but I don't think they're really relevant to what's going on in the day-to-day process of things. You know, I do think. I think there's so much. I think there's so much bad going on. I'm not going to say that's wrong. What I am going to say is this: I think there's so much horrible things going on in front of our face that it would behoove us to even talk about that stuff, that something's getting played backwards and this and that. I don't think we need to even talk about that stuff. I think it's irrelevant to discuss because there are really horrible things happening in front of our face that we can talk about. And I think we can try to embetter a society to discuss the things that we know that we can show people are happening, and we never have to go down that path of saying, well, somebody said this backwards and that and that. You know, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm not saying it did happen. I am saying I believe there's different avenues to preach the message to.
Well, I just wanted to just wanted to comment on our artists, because from these artists we get social justice, we get a galvanizing of people. Okay, and so when we talk about Jay, we got to be very careful because he came from a culture where it was KRS-One, Dead Prez, Lauryn Hill.
Jay-Z was not Dead Prez. Let's get that right.
No, he wasn't in some. He wasn't brother. But I'm saying that some Dead Prez is where you can't. There is no Jay-Z without the profound love of Dead Prez and some of the other artists that he looked up to. At least we can agree on that.
That's how you get. Listen, I love Dead Prez. I love Lauryn Hill. I love everybody you mentioned. I still, to this day, forgive me, maybe I'm wrong, I have no respect for Jay-Z or his ability.
That's right. We can agree this way. The reason I respect Jay...
What you gotta understand is Lauryn Hill and KRS-One talks against.
But we have to ask this question: where are they today? Where are they in this movement? Are they there? Are they present? So let's talk about the things that's taking place today and how, they're around. We listen to their music. Yeah, they're making money, but we're talking about this movement.
We're talking about the movement. Exactly, we're talking about the movement. And what I was going to say was this, man, is that from the movement, from these people, from a Jay and a Dead Prez, KRS-One, and I joked about Flavor Flav last week. From these people, we have a galvanizing of people who look up to these people, and that's where these social justice come from. That's where the galvanizing of people come from. We can disagree about their importance in the social realm today, but at least we can agree about them galvanizing people and bringing people together. They bring together a lot of people. A lot of people look up to their music. And something, Jay-Z got a song called Black Republican. I think all of your listeners need just listen to that song. So just listen to what he's saying.
So I have a question for both of you callers. So, and I'm gonna start with you, Brandon. Then I'm gonna go to the next caller. So what's the next step? So what has to take place for any of this to get resolved? So what you think, Brandon?
What needs to take place is, I just used the word, is a galvanizing of people. And that's why I give you all a lot of credit for coming on the show because you all galvanizes hundreds of people, sometimes thousands of people every week to come together and attack these issues. When you have a galvanizing of people, then you have SM doing a wonderful, magnificent job on social media. That's sort of a galvanizing of people. Anytime you can get people together in one room and hashtag an issue, that's what social media allows us to do, is hashtag an issue. And then we take that issue and we bring it to the forefront. Okay, when the issue becomes when it comes up to the forefront, then people can address it, attend the issue, debate it, and these things become talked about. Something's been done about it now. Okay, something's been done about it now. When we look on CNN in the morning and look at the latest stories and the latest news, that, whether we realize it or not, that is when I looked at the Cal Berkeley protest the other day, it touched my heart, and you saw white brothers and sisters.
It touched mine also.
Black brothers and sisters galvanized in the streets. I almost wish I was there. Okay? Because you have people galvanized in the streets fighting against arbitrary police power. Things that I heard Jay talk about. Okay, you have people in the streets talking about justice and suffering.
Listen, I'm gonna cut you off real fast. I'm with you now, and we talking. Listen. Let's forget we have to establish it ain't black brothers and sisters. It's the human race. It's the human.
No. I said white brothers and sisters also. White, black, and everybody.
Okay, so what you got for me, the second caller?
Can you repeat the question one more time?
What's the next steps? What has to take place for us to get all this resolved?
I mean, it's the first thing, man, is recognizing, even just recognizing that there is a way you can have a relationship with God. You know,
I agree with that.
That's the one thing that needs to be recognized. Like, and I think once you recognize how much power it is in just a relationship, and you understand it faith and things of that nature, and patience, and it's that opens up a lot right there. It takes more of because what the world's coming to is there, man. That's exactly what it is. If you look me up on Facebook, you'd be surprised, like, I probably didn't match it. My voice probably, I thought don't even match my description. I mean, my image. You know what I mean? But it's just like how well educated I am. But I definitely do believe that, at the end of the day, people with peace is when the only way you can get what you can get is from the Creator, So recognizing not
and I'll tell you what,
who you are.
I'm one person. So everybody can take my opinion for what it is. But I'll tell you what, I definitely believe in God. I recently, in the past 2 months, went down to the border of San Diego, Tijuana. And, you hear, living in America, you hear, well, we're America, and we're great, and nobody else is, and how dare these people come across our border, and yada, yada, yada. And you go down there, and you cross the other side of the border, and you stay on the other side of the fence, and you're literally standing there looking up at a 20-foot steel wall that is saying, this is a lesser human being, and you're not allowed over here. And there are people on the other side of that wall with guns saying, if you come over here, we will shoot you. And this is, the people that will shoot you is the in God we trust people. And it's insane to me, as somebody that does believe in God, that is a Christian, that anything could be differentiated in any of this situation. It's like everybody has to get over a flag. Like, a flag is insane. And you have to get over a border. Because it not only is it not like, we get that the media says white and black. Not only do we not have to get over that situation, we have to get over Mexican, Canadian, American, Swedish, French, English. Like, all of it. We're all on this ball floating through the universe.
It's made like that, man. The world always been like that.
We always be divisive toward each other. And it's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane that we can't work together, and we make this... We make these invisible lines and these fictitious flags, and we wave them, and we all think it's just something that we should be holding ourselves to, but it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
definitely, man.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you guys calling in tonight. We're going to touch bases on some other topics, but we appreciate it. Please call in again, both of you callers. And thanks for Brandon, and thanks, caller, too.
Hey, thank you guys for having us, man. Once again, it was a pleasure.
Hey, very much appreciate both of y'all's opinions.
Thank you, buddy.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
So, D, what you think about all that? That got real deep real fast.
Yeah, it was excellent to hear from hear other people's opinion about the major topics and issues that's going on in this country. And it was great to especially who's the Illuminati,
Right. Yeah.
or even what did Mr. Brandon call them? What do you call them?
You can call them the Illuminati. You can call them whatever you want.
Who's who?
That's it.
Because I want. That's what I want to know. Because I felt that's what
Here's
we
the
needed.
thing. Here's the
we
thing.
needed people.
You can call them ghosts. You can call them Bilderberg. You can call them Illuminati. You can call them whatever you want. At the end of the day, it is a fact that there is a group of people running the show. And we're not talking about this mysterious level of like you don't see it running the show. Whatever town you live in, there is a group of people that has some money that's telling you what to do.
Yeah.
You could be in Birmingham, Alabama. You could be in San Diego, California.
You can also be in Houston.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, that's the thing. Wherever you are today, there's somebody with some money running the show. So it doesn't mean that there's just some global conspiracy of satanic worship. What there is happening is people with money are telling the people of lesser value in their mind, quote unquote, lesser value. And listen, you need to remember this too. The people with money don't give anything about what color your skin is. They don't care about none of that. All they care about is what they can get from you. Can they get your vote?
Because that's what they care about is the vote. And that's what we're going to have to take a stand this new, this next election. We're going to have to get out and, like, take a stand and really...
Well, everybody thought they did in 2008. They thought.
Well, they thought they did. And it's a growth process, and things are constantly changing. And people are coming together more. I think this generation is amazing. And we yet to see the new things to come because we're taking a stand basically. And sometimes I feel like we back in the 60s.
No. We are. I get what you're saying, and we are back in the 60s.
We have to catch up. And how are we going to catch up?
No, we're back in the 60s. But that being said, what happened back in the 60s is not what's happening now. Because at least back in the 60s, here's the situation about the 60s. You've got a group of people in the 60s that knows they're getting screwed over and they're going to stand up for it. And they're standing up for something because they see it in their face. This is what we have today. We have a large majority of people that spans every race, spans every economical situation, because we're talking about a very, very, very tight group of financial gain, okay? And they're going to screw over everyone. They don't care who you are. We're living in that today, right? So it's the 60s, but it's not because people can't accept it. Because it takes Edward Snowden. Like nothing Ed Snowden said, nothing was a revelation. Nothing that came out today in the CIA report was a revelation. That's been in the news. The problem is that people live in this world that they can't accept what real news is. They can't accept it. Like, they say that they still, like, look to a flag. The irony is people that call themselves Christians look to a flag and say, well, I'm a Christian, and I believe in God, and I believe in a flag. You know what? If anybody listening can find in the Bible where the American flag is equal to Jesus Christ, I will give you $10,000. I'll give you $1 million. Send me that info right now, because it doesn't exist. Everybody's looking to a false prophet. They're looking to an ideology. They're idolizing a picture. You know what? Let's talk about God. Don't torture people. In God we trust. Meanwhile, we're torturing people. That's insane. In God we trust. Meanwhile, we have Jim Crow laws. That's insane.
Well, what I have to say about it is I feel that we have been there. And we here again. And what's going to be the next step? That is the question that I want to ask everyone. What is the next step? Are we going to continue to march? Are we going to continue to shut it down?
Yes.
Are we going to continue to keep our hands up? Are we going to continue to say, I can't breathe? What are we going to do? What's the next step?
I think what we're doing right now, you know what? I think it's the biggest progress I have personally seen in years. We've at least got people in the streets. Now, you know what?
Now, there's one thing I have to say about the people in the streets, right? It's other steps that we also have to take with this, right?
Right.
So we have our own money now, and I keep saying this again and again and again.
Preach it.
When you go to your neighborhood markets, ask the owners of the merchants there, do you guys accept Bitcoins? Because if not, you do. Because with this new technology, people can take care of people.
But
we
here's
can get
the
rid
thing,
of all this other
here's
stuff.
the thing,
And you know, that's how I feel about it, because that's the only way it's going to change. We have to hurt their pockets.
But here's the thing that they don't get. This is the thing the world don't get. We're all slaves. You know what we're slaves to? The Federal Reserve. That's it. We are slaves to the
And we can keep
Federal
coming
Reserve.
back and back and back on this.
Listen, there could be a guy out there right now named Steve Smith that's as white as white could be and listens to Avril Lavigne. Guess what? You are Kunta Kinte because you are a slave to the Federal Reserve. And don't think you are not.
Well, you may need to tell them again, because I don't think they heard you, X, huh?
So what I'm saying is everybody out there listening that is trading dollars, it goes back to Andrew Jackson to get us off of a Federal Reserve. He didn't want it. Guess what? 1913, it did happen. And look, go back. If you don't believe me, go back and look at the value of the dollar. Go back and look at inflation and see what happened to the value of the dollar since 1913. The reason that you pay $3 for a gallon of gas today is not because a gallon of gas costs $3. It's because inflation caught up to it and is robbing you. The biggest tax and the biggest robbery in your life is inflation. So, what we're saying is, if you believe in the dollar and it's going to save you in any way, shape, or form, if you believe that the dollar is going to save you from anything, white, black, green, or gray, you are Kunta Kinte.
Kunta Kinte. Mm-hmm. Taking them back. Yes, and I really like that. But I think we're going to have to be more, not reserved, but we're going to be more progressive and productive.
That's it. Tell them what they can do.
More progressive, productive, you know, and
tell them how to get away from it.
Well, hey, I don't think I can say is go to your local merchants and ask them to start accepting Bitcoins, or go to your nearest BTM.
Cryptocurrency.
Yes, cryptocurrency. We know, and we trying to get this thing moving forward and more accepted, but
put it in the hand of the people.
That's what we are trying to do.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all it's about. Put the financial reserves in the hands of the people. Stop trying. Look at the bailouts. Everybody got pissed off about the bailout. And why did that happen? Because of the Federal Reserve.
Yeah. Which people need to understand that money is just perfect accounting. Okay?
Right.
That's it. It don't exist.
No.
Right? So we just gonna keep, trying to keep this movement going and share the information every week. We come on every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 o'clock.
Anti-Media Radio, antimedia.org.
Yes, and we're going to keep providing you guys with the best qualified information up to date. And we appreciate you guys, the callers that we did have called in today. And we still, I can't breathe.
I'ma let them know through the stereo. Yo, here we go through the stereo.